and good morning from New York City on Madison Avenue, close to Madison Avenue. I am coming from you live, and of course, if you're in New York City, you know you're not allowed to stand still. You have to actually move to make it seem like you're really, really busy and always on the go. I am actually on the go right now, and I'm in New York City today because I will be at an all-day meeting where we're going to be discussing alternative investments. So a lot of you, many of you may know, obviously, about stocks and bonds and mutual funds, and those are all obviously very, very important tools. But for some investors, not for everybody, you might want to consider certain types of investments that are not correlated to the stock market. So if you are one of our clients, you're going to be hearing more about this if it's appropriate for you. So we shall see. And as I try not to get killed as I cross the street here on a red, because again, don't stop moving, right? So here's an interesting thing though. Coming in this morning to Manhattan, I decided that I didn't want to deal with the driving and the parking and the aggravation. So what I did was I scheduled an Uber. And, you know, I am the planner, right? So I scheduled my Uber the night before, and I got a certain type of pricing involved. And just for, you know, for bits and giggles, I decided what I'm going to do is check the pricing this morning. And because of rush hour, because of lack of preparation or whatever, the pricing was substantially more, like 20% more than it would have been had I just waited to schedule in the morning. And this is the concept of surge pricing. Some of you might know about this, right? And it does come down to a little bit of supply and demand. It does come down to some advanced planning. But it got me thinking this morning about something called indexes and index funds. Indices, I guess. When you have a fund in an S&P 500, like the S&P 500 fund, and this index, the fund is tracking this index, what happens is the index, like Standard & Poor's or Russell 3000 or name your index here, will decide that they no longer want to have certain holdings in those funds. So for example, this happened in, I think, 2017, 2018, when AT&T, Time Warner announced their merger. They couldn't have both companies in the S&P 500, so they decided what we're going to do is drop one of the companies. And instead, what happened was they added a company called FleetCor. I think it's FleetCor or FleetCor, I forget exactly how it's pronounced. But immediately that company had like a 6% increase in stock price. And it did dissipate after a while. But if you were in a fund that needed to track the S&P 500, that fund had to actually maintain what the S&P 500 has. And in that case, they had to actually purchase that at possibly not the most accurate market price, maybe a little bit of that bump. So it's one of those things where if you have index funds, you got to be wary of the supply and demand effect of basically having to rush into a fund just because a Standard & Poor's or a Russell or a Dow Jones Industrial Average has changed what they're supposed to be actually holding. So be wary of the supply and demand impacts of pricing. I'm going to stop for a second because I am way more winded than I should be just walking around talking. But you want to be mindful of the supply and demand impact of purchases. And if you are a client right now, if you're not a client and you want to hear about this, hit me up afterwards and I'll let you know how today's Alternative Investments Conference goes. We're going to be talking about things that are not tightly correlated to stocks and bonds. I believe there's some stuff which has to do with reinsurance, which is a very sort of esoteric industry, but also, there's pros and cons associated with that. There's certain types of lending that's not uniquely bond related and there's a handful of other ones there too. So some alternative strategies and more on that as it develops. Thank you for joining me this morning. And we're coming up on that Thanksgiving, so I hope you're all stocked up on your pumpkin spice and your stuffings. And I will be coming to you again next week. Wait for that sound to go by. And stay safe, stay warm. And if you happen to be in New York City, let me know. Everybody have a fantastic day. Thanks.